Yo, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make like an emotional Lil Durk rod wave type beat. It's the first time I've made beats like this in a while, but I kind of realized it's more just drum selection than anything else. I mean, the bounce and everything is so basic, but you just need to like kind of feel out the bounce to really make these beats shine. Before we get into it, I just want to say thank you guys so much for 9k, and we had like a milli views I think in total, which is fucking nuts, and we can't do it without you guys. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. We appreciate every like, every comment you guys give, and with that being said, check out the website in the description. We're going to be dropping kits like crazy. I just recently dropped a kit, Supernova, which has got like 35 loops and midis in the style of like Heat and kind of like this hyper pop rage sound that's coming back now. You can use code NOVA20 to get 20% off on your kit purchase, so definitely be sure to check that shit out. We also got a bunch of free kits as well on there still. We're working to build up that catalog a bit more, and we're creeping up to 10k, and we got something special for you guys at 10k. Don't want to reveal too much, but yeah, we're going to be dropping something for you guys probably in our Discord, which is a good segue to the next plug. Go check out our Discord as well in the description. You guys can be updated there with all our kits, all our new free kits coming out. All my socials will also be in the description if you guys are fucking with your boy. But yeah, let's just get into the beat. I started off with this sample from Australia. It's kind of like a sample heavy loop, which is kind of what Rod Wave and Lil Durk go for now, is like sampled beats. But honestly, with like any of these beats, you just need some kind of top line. I know it's very vague, but with these beats I've seen is there's always either like a emotional guitar in the background or like some vocal chop in the background that is kind of like carrying the top lead, and it's always the best part of the beat to me. So that is the first step into making these types of beats, is make sure you have that kind of emotional loop, whether it's keys or guitar. Like I said, a vocal chop, you know, you can never go wrong with that with these types of beats. This is how the loop sounds. Crazy loop. I literally just downloaded this guy's loop kits from YouTube, and all the loops are fire, so definitely go hit this guy up, go check his shit out. But to start off, I think one of the most important parts of these types of beats is finding the bounce with your hi-hats. That's the easiest way to kind of find a groove for these types of beats. So what I usually would do is I would start out with a normal two-step, and from there I'd kind of like start taking out specific hi-hats and, you know, changing some hi-hats into like rolls, or even going like higher in octaves or lower in octaves. The most important part is definitely taking away more from the pattern than actually adding hats to it. So either converting hats into rolls or just removing them to kind of give those pockets for other parts and perks of the beat. So that's how this sounds. So as you can hear, it's really fucking simple. There's nothing crazy to it. Definitely play around with the velocity. The velocity plays such a big part in this kind of bounce. So kind of just listen to the loop and just try and match the bounce. But you don't always have to settle down on one bounce. Like, I've changed this pattern up several times while making this beat. You kind of just want a good foundation to start with, and then you can kind of go off that. After that, I just added a basic ass clap and a little snare that I put in. Like I said before, all these drums are so basic. It's just the bounce feels right. So you'll definitely see that more when I start like bringing in the perks. This is how the clap and the snare sounds. Once again, nothing crazy, just a little roll here, played around with the velocity, just try and like complement the bounce that you started with the hats. Oh, by the way, all these drums are from my boy 36's upcoming kit, and I think there's a couple of old sounds here from the Omega kit as well, so definitely go check out the Omega kit because those drums are fucking crazy, and this new kit coming out is 10 times better, I can promise you that. But moving along with the perks, so I started off with this best perk. It's kind of just a shaker in a way, and I kind of used it as a snare, I think, in this beat, just trying to fill in those pockets that was missing from, you know, the original snare. It basically just follows the snare in a way and then kind of just hits some of the offbeats that the snare misses. And then I just added in some rolls here and there. After that, I added in this normal shaker, which is kind of just like a huge reverb shaker, and just kind of adds to the whole emotional, you know, vibe of the beat. After that, I added in another shaker, but all these shaker perks kind of have their own sound to it, and you can really like experiment with shakers and with rims because they can sometimes be tonal as well. The higher you go, obviously, the higher the pitch, the lower, you know, the lower the pitch. But you can really experiment around with that and just give a different vibe depending on what pitch you go with the perk. And I don't think a lot of people do that. They kind of just stick to C. You should always try and like align them to the key of the beat as well. So this is what the third and final shaker sounds like. So really basic. I even dumbed the volume down to like almost 0, so you can barely even hear the shaker, but it just adds to the bounce like all these other perks as well. After that, I added in this Love Your Ears perk. I think this perk is from the Omega kit. It's kind of like an R&B perk, I'd say. Kind of just adds some, you know, ambience to the beat, especially with like the long ass tail it has. Next, I just added in a basic open hat. I usually go crazy with open hats, even on these types of beats. I usually have like 2 to 4 different open hats, but for some reason I think the shaker's kind of filled in those spots for the open hat, so I only added this one. And then moving on to the 808, as you can see, the most fucking basic pattern you could ever fucking get. I kind of like to stick to these types of patterns with these beats because, as you can see, there's a fuck ton of perks and just random drums all over the place. So I like to keep my hats, my claps, and you know, the kick and the 808 kind of, you know, fairly simple in these beats. And to add to the bounce, you kind of just throw in a bunch of perks and hats. But yeah, this is how the 808 sounds. And then I followed that up with a kick, which I'm pretty sure follows most of the 808s, but you don't always want to do that because I see a lot of producers just being really like basic with their kicks in a way where they'll make an 808 pattern and then they just follow the 808 with a kick, which could work with some beats, but I feel like for the most part, especially if you're going for a specific bounce, like I just feel like you can have so much more versatility with your kicks. But yeah, this is how the kick sounds. And then to kind of tie in the hook together, I added in this riser from the Omega kit, which is like just a basic ass riser. And I had this impact that I'm pretty sure was a riser. And then I kind of just cut off the start of the riser to just make it an impact. And I do this a lot as well because sometimes it's hard to get risers and impacts that kind of work together, even if it's literally the same file. Like sometimes I just don't like the riser side, or sometimes I just don't like the impact side. So I would do this a lot where I'd have a riser, chop its tail off, and then another riser, and then chop the start off and kind of keep the tail as an impact. And then for the loop, I almost do this in every single beat, but I will put a normal ass EQ on the loop, just cutting around like 100 hertz so that the kick and the 808 can come through in the mix. And then I will duck down the EQ on the intro and the verses where the 808 isn't in. And then for the hook where the 808's in, I'll just bring back the EQ. And then a quick arrangement tip, this is probably pretty obvious, but when you have your top line that I was talking about, that's like the most emotional part of the sample, I usually like to keep that for the hook. So with this beat, it is the vocal sample in the background. I'd usually like tease it in the intro like I did here, and at the start I'll just have the keys. So then I'll kind of have the vocal in for the hook, and then only the keys and the rest of the parts in on the verses. But yeah, I think that is about it for the beat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and comment if you guys are messing with these types of tutorials. Like I said before, make sure to check out my socials in the description. Check out the website as well. We got a bunch of kits lined up for the next like 3-4 months. Be sure to use Nova20 to get 20% discount off my kit that just dropped. But yeah, thank you guys again for 9k. Really fucking means the world to us, and yeah, I'm just more motivated than ever to make content for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.